ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். We are seeing the meanings for Sri Bhagavad Gita. We have seen the meanings up to the 7th chapter. This 8th chapter is known as Akshara Parabrahma Yogam. This is the continuation of the previous chapter, where Bhagavan explained in the previous chapter his own greatness, his being the Lord of all sentient and insentient beings, entities. He also highlighted in the previous chapter the 4 types of people who approach him and the 4 types of people who do not come to him. The 4 types of people who come to him are highlighted by Bhagavan as Arthaha, Jignasu, Artharthi, Jnani. Artha is one who is in sorrow, suffering for having lost his existing wealth. Artharthi is one who seeks new wealth. Jignasu is one who is disturbed with all the materialistic aspects, who does not like to be taking birth, going through old age, disease, and finally death, and hence he desires only enjoying his own self. Such person is known as Kaivalyarthi. He is highlighted as Jignasu in this shlokam by Bhagavan. Finally, there is Jnani, who is a fully situated devotee in only serving Bhagavan. So these are the 4 kinds of people who approach Bhagavan. Though they are 4 in number, they can be categorized under 3 headings. Arthaha and Artharthi, they can be joined together into Aishwaryarthi. Jignasu is Kaivalyarthi, and Jnani is Bhagavad Kainkaryarthi, one who seeks Kainkaryam to Bhagavan. In the subsequent shlokams in the previous chapter, Bhagavan explained the greatness of Jnani, how he is very fond of such Jnani, and how such Jnani is as dear as his own life for Bhagavan. And in the end of the 7th chapter, Bhagavan explained certain terms such as Brahma, Karma, Adidaivatam, Adidaivam, Adiyajnam, Adibhutam, and so on. And Bhagavan explained that these 3 kinds of people who come to him, they should know the meanings, they should understand these terms clearly. And in this 8th chapter, in the beginning of the chapter itself, Arjuna is asking, what are those terms? Can you please explain? And Krishna starts explaining those terms in this chapter. And he further expands upon those terms and gives more context about bhakti in this chapter. As we know, for Bhagavad Gita, Emperor Sri Ramanujacharya has given a wonderful bhashyam known as Gita Bhashyam. Vedanta Charya, Vedanta Deshika, has given Tatparya Chandrikai, which is a detailed explanation for Gita Bhashyam. Puttur Sri Uve Krishnaswamy Iyengar has written a beautiful, elaborate Tamil commentary based on these existing commentaries of Purvacharyas. We are looking at the English translation of the word by word meanings given by Puttur Swami. With the help of that, we are going through the gIthA shlokams and understanding the basic concepts in a very brief way. We are not going into very detailed explanation. So let us start going through the shlokams in the 8th chapter, and we will see the simple meanings for the same. In the first two shlokams, Arjuna is asking Krishna to explain the terms which Krishna listed out in the end of the last chapter. Arjuna uvacha kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama adibhutam cha kim proktam adidaivam kim uchyate adiyajnah katam kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayanakale cha katham jnayosi netatmabihi. Let us look at the first shlokam. We'll see the word by word meanings first. Purushottama, O Purushottama. Tad Brahma kim, what is known as Brahmam? Adhyatma kim, what is known as Adhyatmam? Karma kim, what is known as Karma? Adibhutam kim proktam, what is that which is called as Adibhutam? Adidaivam cha kim uchyate, and what is known as Adidaivam? Very simple, very straightforward question. O Purushottama, what is known as Brahmam? What is known as Adhyatmam? What is known as Karma? What is that which is called as Adibhutam? And what is known as Adidaivam? You've listed all these terms in the end of last chapter, 7th chapter, saying that these three adhikaris, these three types of people who come to me, Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi and Bhagavad Kainkaryarthi, all of these people should know these principles. And now I am asking you, please explain to me these terms in detail so that I have clarity. So that is the first part of Arjuna's question explained in the first shlokam. In the second shlokam we will continue on. Adiyajnah katham kotra dehesmin madhusudana prayanakale cha katham jnayosi nityatmabihi. Madhusudana, O one who killed the demon Madhu. Atra asmin dehe, in Indra, etc., all who are well known as your body in Shastram, to be known by all the three types of qualified aspirants, that is, those who are seeking worldly wealth, the Aishwaryarthi, those who seek self-enjoyment, Kaivalyarthi, and those who seek service to Bhagavan, you, that is Kainkaryarthi. Indra and all other devatas are known as Bhagavan's Shariram. Shastram declares Anganyanyaha Devataha. All the devatas are Bhagavan's Angam, Bhagavan's forms, Bhagavan's limbs. So such information should be known to everyone. Adiyajnah kaha, what is Adiyajnam? Katham, how did it acquire the quality of Adiyajnam? Niyatatmabihi, by these three types of people who have control over their mind. Everyone should have control over the mind, especially Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi, Bhagavad Kainkaryarthi. All these three should have good control over mind and senses. Even Aishwaryarthi, we may think that he is only seeking material enjoyment. What kind of sense control he should have? But in reality, even seeking Aishwaryam, seeking wealth, whether it is in this world or whether it is in Swargalogam or wherever, one should control themselves, one should engage in tapasya, penances, and then only they will attain the desired wealth. It is not as easy as we think. Kaivalyarthi obviously will have self-control, control of mind, because he is not attached to any of the worldly pleasures. He is actually very disturbed looking at this material world and looking at birth, old age, disease, death and all of that. So he is anyway seeking freedom from all of this and he wants to only enjoy Atma. So he will also need to have self-control, mind control. Obviously, being Jnani, Bhakta of Bhagavan, one will have self-control. So Bhagavad Kainkaryarthi should also have self-control. So that is the basic qualification. That's why it is said Niyatatmabihi. These three types of people who have control over their mind. Prayana kalecha, while shedding their bodies to attain their desired goals. It is at the end of the life, whether in their next birth or in the case of Kaivalyam or in eternal Kainkaryam to Bhagavan, it is in the afterbirth, one is going to get the result. So for that attainment of the result, Katham Nyayaha Asi, how do you remain the one to be known? In what way they should know and understand you before they shed their bodies, at the time of shedding their bodies? So that is the questions. These are the questions asked by Arjuna. What is Adhyagyam? Which is to be known by all of those types of qualified aspirants, Aishwaryarthi, Kaivalyarthi, Bhagavad Kainkaryarthi, in Indra and all others who are well known as your body in Shastram. How did it acquire the quality of Adhyagyam? How do you remain the one to be known by these three types of people who have control over their mind while shedding their bodies? So that is the second shlokam and the question asked by Arjuna. So here he has listed out all the terms which were listed by Bhagavan in the previous chapter, Adhyayam, and he is asking Bhagavan to give explanation, Krishna to give explanation for all of these terms. Bhagavan starts speaking and he is going to explain these terms now. In these two shlokams he is explaining these terms in a brief manner and then he will explain them in detail in subsequent shlokams. Let us see the third shlokam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavodhyatmam Uchyate Bhutabhavodbhavakaro Visargaha Karma Sanyitaha. Brahma is Paramam Aksharam, the Atma which is relieved from any connection to matter. The Atma which is not changeable. Ksharam means which is changing, Aksharam means which is not changing. So Atma which is not changing is known as Brahma. Brahma word is explained in context of Bhagavan at times, in context of Jivatma at times. So here Krishna is explaining the word as Jivatma. Adhyatmam is Swabhavaha Uchyate, nothing but matter. It is the Prakriti, it is the matter which keeps changing. Bhutabhava Udbhavakaraha Visargaha, the act of emission of male sperm into female ovary for procreation to create new beings. Male unites with female in any species and a newborn is acquired, and the process of this emission, the transmission of the sperm from male to female is known as karma. Karma sanyitaha is called karma. So Brahma is the Atma which is relieved from any connection to matter. Adhyatmam is nothing but matter, and the act of emission of male sperm into female ovary for procreation is called karma. Next, fourth shlokam. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushas chadi daivatam adhiyagyoham evatra dehabhritam vara. Dehabhritam vara, O best among those who have a body, O best among people. Adibhutam, which is to be known for Aishwaryarti, those who seek worldly wealth, is Ksharaha Bhavaha, the best Shabdam, etc. That is worldly pleasures. So Adibhutam is all the Tanmatras, Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa, Gandha. These are the subtle manifestation of the gross elements, that is the Panchabhutams. For example, earth, Bhumi has Gandham. Akasham, ether has Shabdam. So each of the element has its own manifestation, subtle manifestation. So this subtle manifestation, which is known as Tanmatra, is Adibhutam. Adidaivatam cha. Adidaivatam, which is to be known by them again, by these Aishwaryartis. So Aishwaryartis have to know certain things for sure. Kaivalyartis have to know certain things for sure. But everything needs to be known by one who is focused on bhagavath Kaikaryam. Only then he can pursue what is required and give up what is to be given up. So Adidaivatam, which is to be known by them again, is Purushaha, this Purusha, who is greater than celestial beings such as Indra, etc. all. Here, the Purusha is the one who is greater than all the Devatas such as Indra and others. Now, higher than Indra, there is Brahma, who is the topmost Devam or Devata in the material world. So this Purusha must be pointing to Brahma or someone who is equal to his stature. Because this particular Adidaivatam is to be known by Aishwaryartis, and they are seeking the maximum pleasure which can be enjoyed by someone who is at the top in this material world. So this Adidaivatam points to Brahma or someone who is at his capability. Adiyajnam, which is to be known by all three categories. Everyone should know what is Adiyajnam. That is the seekers of worldly wealth, seekers of self-enjoyment, and seekers of service, Kaikaryam to Bhagavan, is Atal Dehe Evam Ahameva, me who is worshipped by yajnams, sacrifices, by being the Antaryami, indwelling super soul of celestial beings such as Indra, etc., all, who are all my bodies. So all of these devatas are Bhagavan's forms, Bhagavan's limbs, and he is the Antaryami, the indwelling super soul. Being the Antaryami, he accepts all the yajnas, all the sacrifices given in these yajnams, and he enjoys the offerings, and he also grants all the desires through the devatas for those who pray through these yajnas. So Bhagavan is explaining here to Arjuna what are all these terms. O best among those who have a body, Adibhutam is Shabdam, etc., which are subject to change. Adidaivatam is the Purusha, who is greater than celestial beings such as Indra and all. Adiyajnam is me, who is worshipped by all the sacrifices, by being the Antaryami of all the Devatas. And these Devatas are just my bodies. So that is the fourth shlokam. We will see the next shlokams in the next session. Alvar Emperumanar Jiyar Thirudigale Sharanam. Jiyar Thirudigale Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download KOYIL, KOYIL app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, KOYIL.org.